Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Hustle Basketball Talk. I'm joined today by forward center Ira Lee. Ira, thank you so much for being on the show.
Yes, thank you for having me, man.
Absolutely, man. So, starting off, growing up in Arizona and then moving to LA when you're a teenager, what was the basketball experience like for you in two different states? And also, what age did you fall in love with the game?
Mhm. It's actually funny that you say that. So give you a little more detail about Arizona, LA. I was born in Phoenix, Glendale to be specific.
Yeah,
I actually did not play sports like that until
really?
I got to California. I hated sports when I was younger.
Wow.
Yeah, I used to sing and stuff, so my parents thought I was gonna be this big 6'8" artsy kid.
Yeah.
But I moved to live with my dad when I was about 10, 11, and I think around, I think it was 12, 13. That's when I got into basketball, you know,
Okay.
and I was terrible.
Yeah.
I remember my first. I started out in the little Asian league, FOR league out here, and I couldn't make a layup. Used to trip over my own feet. It was bad, but I still liked it. I loved it. So my dad said, "This is what you have to do to be the best at it." So I went a whole summer, worked on my game, got bounced, and then I came back, and next thing I know, I was one of the best eighth graders in the country. So,
That's awesome. And then from just seeing that progression at a fast pace, like did that really motivate you to just kind of keep going at that age?
yeah, yeah, shoot, I got offered by Arizona when I was 14.
Oh wow.
So I had a lot of early success, and my dad was like, you can go far with this, and I took it and ran with it.
That's awesome, man. And then as you saw that progression over your high school years, and then what was the recruiting process like for you coming out of high school, and then ultimately your decision to go to U of A and commit to Sean Miller and stuff? Like, what was that like for you?
Mhm. It was. I feel like every recruiting process is hectic. It
Yeah.
was hectic. I loved it, but it was very hectic. I mean, my senior year, because I committed like midway through my senior year. I had Oregon, Cal, Texas, Kansas, and then ultimately Arizona.
Yeah.
So, just hearing from all the schools every day, I'm in class, guys calling me, hey, so when are you gonna come for a visit? I'm like, but ultimately I chose Arizona. One, I was born in Arizona, so I know about. They won the national championship the year before I was born, '97.
Yeah.
My uncle was a huge Wildcat fan, so I grew up around that Wildcat culture. I knew what it's all about. I knew about
Sure.
Luke, I knew about Bibby, everybody. So
Terry, Jason Terry, great history there, man. Yeah.
exactly, I knew about all those RJ, Shannon Fry. I can go down the list, but
100%.
Um, I was closest to Coach Miller. Like I said, he offered me when I was 14 years old.
Yeah.
So I talked to him all throughout high school, and I felt like I had a relationship with him. So I committed to him, and I wanted to be close to my grandma who was in Phoenix.
Okay, that's awesome, man. That's nice to be able to play, close to your family and then a rich program with history that you followed since you were young. And then being
Right.
there for 4 years, what was your experience like? In the Pac-12, playing for one of the premier programs in the country. What was that like for you?
Mhm. It was great, man. It was really great. I mean, I got a Pac-12 championship out of it, regular season
Yeah,
and tournament championship. Been to the tournament. Shoot, played with pros, some really good pros. I
yeah,
mean, between DeAndre Ayton, Alonzo Trier, Raleigh Alkins, I could go on and on about that list. But
for sure.
even the guys that just won the Pac-12, those are my freshmen last year. So I've
Yeah.
been on some elite talent.
No, that's awesome, man. And that just makes the experience that much better because those are relationships you have for the rest of your life.
Exactly. That's ultimately what matters out of this whole deal.
Absolutely, man. The relationships you build from basketball are truly invaluable and stuff. So,
Right.
and then
Right.
once you're there, what do you feel was your biggest strengths, right? What do you feel are your biggest strengths on the court now? And, as you're pursuing a professional career?
Right. I feel like I'm a workhorse. Everyone knows I play hard. I love to dunk on people. And I think the biggest one that people didn't really see at Arizona, I love passing the ball. I love taking the ball off the court
Yeah,
and making plays for people. So those are the biggest parts of my game.
for sure. All around, well rounded player. And then
Mm,
you did take advantage of that extra year of eligibility from the COVID year,
mm,
transferred to George Washington. We're there for a bit, redshirting and stuff like that. What was that experience like being on campus there? and then
Yeah.
your decision to ultimately, pursue a professional career.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, I was there, so I got there what in May, June last year, right after I graduated. Spent the whole summer there. Ultimately, I did it because Arizona. I was a role player. I
Yeah,
played under a lot of guys, so I wanted to have maybe that year where I could just break out and be myself.
yeah,
And that's what it was gonna be. But I came literally 2 days after I got home from the summer session. Played pickup, tore my knee, ruptured my
yeah,
patella. So,
yeah.
I thought maybe, okay, I'll take advantage of the 6th year. So I went back to campus, rehabbed at campus, went to class. But then I just told my dad, I'm done with school, Dad. I just want to come home and get ready for the next step in my life. So, I made that decision in December, and that's why I'm back home in LA.
That's awesome. Yeah, and then you're dealing with it, but you're making the most of it, right? You're rehabbing, and then not just outside of basketball. Now you're working for Athletes Launch, a startup company.
Mhm.
Talk about that, right? In addition to you pursuing this pro career still and rehabbing every day, you're
Mhm.
working, man. You're making an impact in other people's lives, building a company. Can you talk about that a bit, please?
Right. So it's crazy, before I get into what Athletes Launch is about, I was basically sitting at home, just doing rehab, but I needed to work, I need money too.
Yeah,
I applied to different jobs with my degree, and I kept getting the same feedback. Like I have the GPA, I have the degree, but I don't have any work experience.
yeah.
And it's like, how do you expect me to get work experience when I spent my 4 years in college working out for the team?
Doing workouts, traveling, study hall. You have no time to work in college when you're an athlete.
No time, and like everyone else gets a summer break, we get maybe 2, 3 weeks
Yeah,
after this. So, I didn't have time to do that stuff. And then my friend, actually one of my best friends, Ben, who I'm working with, he's one of the founders of Athletes Launch. Me and Ben played for the Oakland Soldiers together.
okay.
So we've been boys since we were like 13, 14 years old.
Yeah,
And he called me and said, "Hey man, I'm doing this thing. It's gonna be big for athletes. I'm trying to help athletes get in the corporate world." I was like, he started explaining more to me. I was like, that's a great idea.
yeah.
So, yeah, that's what we do, man. We're the bridge between companies finding the right talent and athletes being able to show the attributes they show on the field or the court, and being able to transition that into the corporate world.
Absolutely, man. And those skills, of being coachable,
Hmm.
dealing with adversity, and also leadership. Sports really teach you leadership at a young age that is truly, a valuable asset for any company. So I think what you all are doing at Athletes Launch is, truly a phenomenal concept, man.
Exactly, man. Hey, got to help the next wave of athletes, man.
Yeah, definitely, man. And then outside of basketball, being a pro and working in Athletes Launch, outside of sports in general, what are your interests? Who are you when you're not working out to be the best player you can be?
Shoot, me. I mean, everybody knows me. I'm a pretty versatile guy, man. I like to sing. I
Yeah,
songwrite, and I'm actually supposed to go record something with my friend in a little bit.
that's awesome.
Yeah, man. I love to cook. Love to take my hikes, spend time with my grandma. So I'm a pretty well-rounded guy.
That's good, man. That's good. And then as far as singing goes, are you gonna, ever release like an album or anything like that?
Since I was in middle school, everyone's always saying you got to drop an EP or something, Lee. I'm like, maybe I will. Maybe I'll take some time out the summer and just go record something. Cause I have a lot of songs written. I've written a lot of songs. I just never had time to go to the studio and just record it.
For sure, yeah. It seems like you got a lot of different things going on, and especially just being in sports. Like when you do something, you definitely learn you want to do it wholeheartedly. So especially in music, man, like you got to really invest that time in there. So yeah, no, that's
Yeah,
dope, man.
exactly. I got friends in the music industry, so like I don't want to disrespect, I don't want to disrespect their art. It's like if somebody you say, "Oh, I'm gonna try and play basketball," it's like, all right, if you're gonna do it, you got to do it. So
Yeah, 100%, man.
Mhm.
100%. And then I like to end the show with, what's your why? What's your motivation every single day you wake up to be the best person you can be in every facet of your life?
Shoot, man, my why is just give you a little background. I've lost about 10 close people to me,
Mm.
including my grandma. If you see most of my tattoos,
Yeah.
you know, my friend's Jersey committed suicide, my
Mm.
grandma committed suicide, my boy Oscar died in a car accident. I'm gonna get more stuff done, but I've lost a lot of people. Man, put me in a really dark spot. But finally I found that light again that told me they wouldn't want me to, cry and sulk the rest of my life. So,
For sure.
with every single one of those people that I lost, they want me to elevate and just keep going. So that's why I wake up every morning. I do what I do. That's why I always have that helping hand in my heart. That's why I'm doing athletes launch.
Yeah.
And ultimately, I know they want me to get back to basketball too. So that's why I work hard every single day just to get back to that too.
Absolutely, man. Life's truly a blessing. So, to have this gift, and, to have those loved ones lost, definitely, I know you're making them proud right now, 100%, man, especially with everything you're doing, not just on the court, but with Athletes Launch, the singing, everything in your life, man, has a purpose. So that's awesome, man.
So I appreciate that, man.
Yeah, of course. Well, it's been great, learning more about you, having you on the show. Look forward to following your journey. And I know that you're going to have a successful pro career, but also a successful, corporate career now with Athletes Launch, starting a company. And then also, who knows, we might see you, in Hollywood one day as a singer. You never know.
And you never know.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much, Ira. It's been great having you, man, and look forward to following your journey.
Yes, sir. I appreciate you for having me, man.